If I go back to my research on Real Media Text, where we were looking at short films such as Lights Out, The Ellington Kid, Operator, and Future Inc., I see that I studied in depth and researched thoroughly the codes and conventions, the cinematography and font, and screenshotted and annotated many of the scenes. I did this because I knew in order to make my short film successful, it would be useful to adhere to common short film conventions. I found that the cinematography and font were often simple and the narrative was very easy to understand. When I looked at the more blockbuster feature-length films like 12 Years a Slave and In the Name of Our Father, which are both docudrama films, tended to dramatise and stylise certain events in the person's life, this was possibly the only convention that I intended to challenge in my short film. I primarily focused on the characteristics and conventions when researching these films. I found that a very common thing in docudramas was voiceovers, and I intended to incorporate one into my own short film. I also researched Zodiac and Charlie Wilson's War and found that these also adhered to the common codes and conventions of a docudrama film. I found that it would be hard to challenge this stereotype, as docudrama films are often hard-hitting and true stories. Therefore, I believe that the only way that I may have challenged the conventions is by using less dramatization and keeping the raw content and concept of my short film at the forefront, filling it with effects since we had a low budget and had to keep cost and practicality in mind. Although I do think that in the end, the outcome of our short film was exactly how we wanted it to be, as it was moving and seemed a lot more genuine than some of these stylized blockbusters. I would say a film like Whose Streets would also represent the raw, authentic content that we were aiming towards, and I would say that it is the most similar